Welcome to the Barcelona Virtual Podcast on European Marketing and Innovation. In our 51st episode, we're wrapping up our series on European innovators by talking to Gemma Cernuda, an internationally recognized entrepreneur, speaker, and author.
She is all of that and more, Sonia. Gemma is a true trailblazer in marketing to women, which today is even more important given the explosive growth of e-commerce. Offline, as she has very well documented, women are responsible for over 80% of each buying decision. And now, Gemma is convinced that women are poised to shape its natural evolution online in digital shopping.
It's especially useful that we'll be looking at fresh information from a recent study about women and e-commerce, led by Gemma. We'll share many of those findings in the program notes for this episode, which is Season 5, Episode 5. They'll find them on our blog at blog.bvirtual.com.
As we'll see, for brands willing to listen and learn, the good news is that women are very open and faithful. They actively look for companies genuinely interested in knowing and understanding them.
For my part, I think it's exciting we were able to record yet another live session, this time with Gemma. I've been following her work for years.
That's right, Carrie. We invited her to a live conversation with me, together with Jacqueline Ramos, Creative Director at Barcelona Virtual. And to give voice to Gen Z, we're also happy that Natalie Shirk joined us.
Paul, that should be interesting. As I understand it, Natalie has joined our team this summer from the United States as an international business intern.
Natalie is grand. Sharp as a tack, as Caleb might say.
Could you please share more information about our guest before we listen to the live session?
My pleasure, George. Gemma Cernuda began her own consulting company 22 years ago, exclusively focused on the topic of effective communication strategies to women. She's been a key agent of change in a field where stereotypes abound. Wouldn't you say so, Natalie?
Yeah, I absolutely would. I'm impressed by her evolution. Communications director at a major food company, her studies at Columbia in New York, her books, and then that great TED Talk.
Well, now that Gemma Cernuda is focusing on e-commerce, get ready for some surprising ideas.
I'm ready.
The following content is brought to you by the BV Innovation Lab. Voice services, AI, virtual reality, and neuromarketing are only a few of the ways we help you innovate in a safe space. To learn more, go to lab.bvirtual.com. That's lab.bvirtual.com. At the BV Innovation Lab, we bring you the future today.
Gemma, thank you so much for joining us. I can't tell you how excited our voice team has been, our entire team has been, knowing that you're coming. And I really appreciate your time sharing with us and, in fact, with our global audience.
Thank you, Paul, and all the European team for inviting me. And really, I'm so excited to speak for the first time internationally about my research.
Well, I have to say to that very same audience that you are a pioneer in the area of connecting and communicating to women in a very effective way. And you've also gained a lot of respect because it's focused on the fact that women are behind 80% of most sales. They're really the motor of business and purchase decisions. However, let me say also to everybody in an introductory way that, Gemma, you've been very visionary because I think you're the first person that really kept underlying to marketing and advertising. People, men and women are different, and you need to communicate to them in different ways. Can you explain maybe, the basics of that?
Well, I'm going to give you quick tips to understand that we decide and we fall in love with brands in a different way. We women decide in a spiral way and men in the vertical way. What does that mean? That means that when we are looking for a product to buy to something, we search in different places, in different stores, in different opinions, in different ways of finding what we're looking for. For instance, red trousers. So we look for an expert in fashion, a shop, blog, whatever. When men want red trousers, they just go down at lunchtime and they get the red trousers.
Boom,
Vertical,
boom, boom.
that's one tip, no? So I think that knowing this, as advertisers, we will put our advertising in those different places where women look for the red trousers before buying them. But men, if they just go to the mall at lunchtime, there's only one place to put the advertising. So,
Okay, I just want to ask you in this whole conversation also, Natalie and Jackie, let's always be respectful of men. Men, we're on and off, and it's not just about beer or sports. We're also very pragmatic with those decisions. We go for the red trousers, and that's the end of the story. So, we're talking already about e-commerce, but I think these basics are very important to keep in mind, that we really want to connect with each particular type of consumer in the correct way, right? But speaking about e-commerce, you recently have published a new study that you've done here in Spain and Catalonia. And by the way, Spain and Catalonia are right in line with EU e-commerce figures. We'll look at that in a moment. But what would be kind of a universal truth of the behavior of women across the EU, across the European continent? In terms of buying, maybe, in terms of buying behavior.
In terms of buying behavior, online and offline, I guess, Paul, or online, basically. Well, we women, we go shopping, and you men buy. And the difference is that we go for the experience, and everything counts. Every little detail counts. And men, they just go shop the red trousers, for instance. So that's really a different itinerary, a different way of getting there. I'm telling this, and me, Gemma, I am a woman, and sometimes I feel more on the other behavior. Sometimes I feel more vertical than spiral, and you know what I told before. But like we have to analyze, we have to analyze the big behaviors and then make decisions and get insights. So that's our job. And so men look for solutions, more practical. And we women explore. We like to explore. We want to go go shopping, and maybe we don't shop what we were wanting at the beginning, and then we end up shopping another thing because we value the experience. We want to explore. So I would say that this is a big difference in the behavior and the way the experience has to be designed.
But it seems to me, and across the EU, here in Europe, because our podcast focuses on marketing and innovation in Europe, it seems to me, too, that's another thing I saw in your study, that women are really looking for efficiency. They're looking for value, fast service. So maybe like quick ways to pay, all of those things that are very less experiential and more like down to the details. I think that also jumped out at me when I looked at your study. Would that be correct, that you could kind of extrapolate that to the rest of Europe?
Yeah. We women like to know who is behind that brand. Even if it's a family business, who is that family? And what are the values of the brand? We do care about that. I understand that as part of the exploration, as part of shopping, because we want to understand why is that brand telling this. Maybe it's because the way it was created, or because of the founder, or because the solution they are helping in society. So the values are very important, and we want to know the story behind. So the storytelling is really crucial. It is. Okay,
well, I'm fascinated by the storytelling about your own life. This is a multifaceted topic. So sounds like kind of a race.
Because Gemma, I know in your personal life you love to run marathons, right? And that seems like a great metaphor for your own mission to change mindsets, products, advertising messages, and more. So as you've led the charge during these past 22 years, have brands improved? Are we getting closer to the finish line?
No.
No.
Not yet. No yet. Thank you. Yes, we're Jacqueline. With Jackie, we're not getting. We're not getting closer to the finish line yet, but we are running in a good pace, and we're actually going through the wall, which is when you run a marathon. It's at the 32 Ks. you feel like you're going to die and you can run no more, and that's enough, and what's the crazy thing I'm doing? And it's normally in the 30-32 case, and it's called the wall. So if you're able to cross the wall, then it's like, okay, it's only 10 Ks more. Come on, Gemma, keep going.
So you see hope. You see hope, right?
Yes, I'm seeing hope, Paul. Yeah, but it's still a lot to do. We cannot down the guard. Do you say down the guard in English too? Yeah, you cannot like relax.
Lower your guard and relax, right?
Lower your, yes. So, getting there, Jackie.
Nice.
So I have the impression that there are more women studying marketing and advertising than my own major, which is international business. Do you think that's made a difference in your opinion? I still see a lot of pink.
You said
pink.
P-I-N-K? Pink. There is too much pink, Natalie. But you know why? Because still the big brand corporations, the big brand strategists and marketers are men, or at least are ruled through masculine style, and that's not anybody's fault. That's the way it is. So what we have to do is to change it and detect it. Say, okay, that's the problem. Let's change the way we think and the way we make decisions, and ask women. What do you want from my brand? What do you want from the experience? What do you want from the automobile industry? What do you want from the banking industry? What do you want from the travel industry? What is really moving you? And study it, understand that, listen to that. And it's that easy and that difficult at the same time. But that's what we are like claiming in the market. And only 3%, Natalie, 3% of women claim that their favorite color is pink, and we still keep on putting pink in every female product. It's like, come on, we don't like pink.
Well, Gemma, I'm impacted by everything you just said in the first part, which is women are clearly important. And secondly, there's such a difference in the patterns of shopping between men and women, both offline and online. And since many of our listeners and viewers, in the case of the video, may not be in Europe, I'd like to spend a little time looking in just a moment at some of the figures about the European e-commerce boom. And I just venture to say that it's really time, when people hear these figures, that marketers should sit up and notice and take notice of the importance of women.
Yes, I totally agree. It sounds good.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to consult my notes here, but this is from Statista.com. These are very recent figures. According to them, the European e-commerce market will continue to grow very quickly, with revenues getting up to the $1 trillion mark by 2027. So that's our first point. This is also something that I think is very, very significant. The e-commerce user penetration here in Europe exceeds 60% in the most mature e-commerce markets. And then finally, EU companies generate roughly a fifth of their revenues already from online sales channels. And the leader is also very surprising. You see, I'm wearing green. I do have Irish heritage. And it's Ireland, where 40% of the sales in that country come from online. So, but across the continent, it's generally a fifth of the total sales, and that means 20%. As I understand it, here in Spain, we're seeing a similar e-commerce explosion. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Well, what is happening, at least what it came out from the research, is that yes, the online experience is occupying more and more time, even in young people. Like young generations are the ones who are really being the heavy users. One data that really impressed us is that all ages, we like the online experience, but we want to combine it with the physical experience. So I would say that the online experience is growing, but And I would say that this is one of the peculiar and specific character of Europe, that we love the cities, the downtown, the old part of the cities. We like walking. It's not a mall civilization. It's more a downtown and a pedestrian city. So we want to keep that. That means the physical experience, but we want to shop online. So I would really make a point on this insight and really open an eye on that, because we are every day more shopping online, but we want the physical experience too. I would say that this is a challenge that for brands and for business to really explore it.
It's a peculiar evolution, as you say, and it has a very peculiar name, doesn't it? Because I saw that in your study, Phygital, yes. So physical and digital. And you're kind of saying that in Europe, you have to have a good cappuccino in the process, right? You know, you're downtown, you're having your cappuccino with your friends, but then the digital is very important, right?
And I would say, really, I mean, you are the American and Natalie too of the debate now, but I would say that that's a big difference between European way of living and North American way of living. And we like the online experience, but we want to go downtown, get a cappuccino, maybe window shopping, and then shop online. So that's the way we are. Of course, we can change. The pandemic changed us 60 degrees, so we can change the behavior. But I wouldn't miss that point, because that really connects with us. I touch my heart when I say that connects with us. So if we as brands are able to really explore the physical and the digital experience, we'll gain them in the positive way.
Yeah, Gemma, I was going to ask you that. So what should be the good practices for brands in their e-commerce campaigns to women? I think you already answered that.
Okay.
Well, maybe in terms of the online experience, right? Like the details of the e-commerce experience, right?
In terms of the e-commerce experience, Jackie, I would say a good, honest, authentic brand with real values that they transmit. That when I call to this brand, to the e-commerce, when I WhatsApp with them, when I have a question, there's a human person that answers me and in real time and empathizes with me and understands what do I need. So I want this understanding, empathy, authenticity. I want this. Even shopping online. I'm shopping online, but I want that. Okay. If I call because I need help, I want a human person answering this. And it came all in the research. It came all the time. So really, audience, I'm telling you seriously, I'm going to put a serious face now. We want humans there. Men too, but women, it's a must for us. And that's also a challenge. Okay, that's a challenge. Hello, let's challenge life. So we want humans there answering our questions. We want the delivery process to be precise on time. There is a research done that says that we are able to understand even a 3-day delivery, but not more than that. So if there is already that data, like take care of that. There are other research that analyze that. We are afraid and at the same time ashamed of being hacked in cyber attacks. When you give your credit card, when you pay online, there are many frauds and people get robbed. I was hacked. It's happening. And that's one of the main triggers or things that stop us from buying online, shopping online. So let's take care of that. Let's be the brave brand that says we are secure. And those are challenges, but that's what we want. We want to feel secure. We want human voices on the other side. We want authenticity. But it sounds simple, right? It's a great opportunity for brands.
it seems that women really want to be accompanied also. They want the brand to really be by their side in terms of values, in terms of the quality and the whole delivery. And then if there's any problem, they're not really interested in like chatbots or AI so much. They're not going to go running to Chat GPT. They want a real person to solve any problem, they want to make sure that they feel comfortable. That makes a lot of sense. It makes me think of one thing that you always used to say. We did a project together for PlayStation, I think about 10 years ago, that was very important. You said, if it's good for women, it's good for men. And, because these are like core values, and I really resonate with that.
One thing that I love about doing qualitative research is that when you get to the bone, when you get to the half truth, and then you get the total truth, that's the real insight. And there is something that we don't really say at the first answer, at the first, contact, but we women, men too, but we women, we don't like to give the email because we find it really intrusive. So let's find another way of getting their contact. I don't know which one it is, or at least ask for the email in the fourth screen, not in the first screen. You know what I mean? Like the first contact, the first approach, the first moment of truth that you have with a brand. Don't ask the email in that point because that's so intrusive.
Would you agree with that, Natalie? Is that like somebody being too pushy at a party or something? Or how would you see that, Natalie?
Yeah, I agree, because a lot of times, like, I only want certain brands that are already my love marks, as we talk about here, to be sending me emails. I don't want emails from a bunch of random things. Maybe I'm just browsing. I don't want to get a bunch of emails that aren't really relevant to me. But as someone from North America who's been living in Barcelona, I would say that I've already adapted to that lifestyle of shopping, like walking around in the more pedestrian friendly city, as you were talking about. So how do e-commerce platforms allow people to have, especially women, their free will walking around shopping, and also get them to come online and shop digitally? And what errors should they avoid that may prevent women from shopping through the e-commerce platform?
Good question.
I would say that if you have a lot of budget, you can create a wonderful online experience and an extraordinary online experience too. But if it's not the case, I would say that, at least in Europe, in the way we live and in our culture, and actually in the Mediterranean countries, that the weather is nice, you like to be outside, the daylight is forever. So you really want to enjoy the city and the outdoors. So let's create pop-up stores, or let's create experiences. Let's create spaces, moments, even corners on a shop, I don't know, on a street market. Create brand experiences that you see the brand on the street, and then you know that you can have it online too. But it's more a matter of being creative than a matter of budget sometimes, no? Okay, when you don't have budget, you have to be creative. Comes to my mind, there is a Spanish erotic gadgets brand called Plátano Melón. I don't know if you know that brand name, Plátano Melón. And they only sell online. And there was actually two Catalan women entrepreneurs, and the project is really big, and they're going international now. Plátano Melón, they do things really cool in terms of marketing. And their target is Gen Z millennials, but more like, I don't know, 1830, something like that. They only sell online, but once in a time, I don't know, maybe 3 times per year, they create a big pop-up movement, and they were really impressed about how hundreds and thousands of young girls and boys, but mainly girls, they went there, they wanted to touch the products. I mean, they wanted to touch it before buying it because they were buying it before touching it. No, so and they realized that, oh, really? I mean, the offline experience is so important for them, and we're not aware of that. So I think that it gives you the opportunity to test that, and they have to combine. I know that I said that before, but I'm gonna keep on saying that at least in European mindset, because we need sometimes to touch the product, to have the experience, to see somebody else buying it. Like, oh, this woman are like me. It's like a sharing experience in a way.
Sharing and mirroring, yeah, and I think
Yes.
I think it actually might go beyond Europe in that you're describing quite well the phygital experience where we need to have offline brands that offer us more, and part of that is very social and outside of the mall in different ways, very tangible. Thank you very much for the second part, because I think you're offering to our audience and to us many things that are very practical and pragmatic. And I would like to just also remind all of our listeners or viewers that they should also not forget the program notes associated with this episode on our blog. This is season 5, episode 5, and you'll find a host of different resources on the blog, including this video once it's published. So now why don't we take a look at some surprising discoveries you made, Gemma, in our next section, when we think of your study and find out things that we didn't expect to find.
Yes.
Well, I have to tell you guys, my head is spinning. I mean, my neurons are very happy. This is really interesting information. And Jackie, I'm going to turn to you now, because you work every day, day in and day out with our e-commerce clients. You know what the reality is, and you saw the study. What most surprised you from Gemma's e-commerce and women's study?
Yeah, I think that would be, without a doubt, how women are leading in e-commerce subscriptions services. 33% program their purchases. That's crazy for me.
They're programming with subscriptions.
Yes.
Wow. Why is that, Gemma? That's coming from female consumers.
Actually, it surprises me too, Jackie. And thanks to that insight, I knew the word subscription, that I didn't know that word. Subscription and economy, subscription. As a marketer, it guarantees you a monthly fee. So if you are clever enough to design an experience or a service that can have a monthly fee, that's a subscription too. So as a marketer, is a way of being financially fit. And as a customer, as a consumer, it's also a commodity, because in things that have a big volume, like, I don't know, water or toilet paper, you know how much are you going to need every month. Some medicines, sometimes you take, I don't know, vitamins or some things that you don't get it from the pharmacy. You know that you need 1 box per month, and the problem is solved, and somebody's taking care of it, and you know that you're going to have your vitamins the first day of every month in your post office. No, it's surprising, but then when you get down to analyze it, it does make sense. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's also the mental release of thinking about, I have to shop that thing. If I have my subscription, I know it's going to arrive to my home. Like the coffee machine we have in the agency, for example, we'll have a subscription. So it's like super convenient. Yeah.
Something that I was very surprised to see from Gemma's study was only 10% of consumers are buying from social media, which you would think it would be so much more as everything becomes more digital. So why is that?
Natalie, I was surprised as you are now, and I don't know the why. I have to get the data and believe it, because if you make a research and you combine quantitative and qualitative and read a lot of papers and you come to that point, it should be more truth than false. So I have to accept it and share it. But I would say that sometimes we say yes when we talk in a having a beer with a friend or a coffee at the office, that yes, did you see that, I don't know, popular person or famous saying that they use Nespresso or they run with Nike shoes, and you may think that you wear Nike because that famous people said that, but the way you decide and the way you really end up buying is not because Jennifer Lopez is running with Nike. It's because maybe, yeah, but the easy answer is say yes. I believe in or maybe the fact that the famous people are brand ambassadors, they make the aspiration and inspiration that we said before, may inspire you to feel like she or like her. But then at the very end, you don't buy. That is not the point that really helps you to make the decision. There are other things.
Actually, you're talking about two data points in your study. As Natalie says, on the one hand, only 10% are buying from or through social media, and then what shocked me truly, with all the money spent on influencers, is what you're saying, Gemma, that influencers, they really don't move the purchase. So maybe, if with your permission, I'd like to boomerang back to Natalie. Do you buy, as like Gen Z, do you buy from social media, or is it maybe part of your customer journey where you get informed, but then, as Gemma was saying earlier, you look for an experience offline, having a coffee with friends, and I don't know, tell us a bit about how you react to social media from your point of view, Natalie. Might be interesting for Gemma.
Yeah, for me, as a Gen Z consumer, I guess, I would say that it's definitely more of a customer journey thing. Like, you see all these things on different social media platforms that all of these influencers are just coming out of everywhere. And you might see, like, scroll down your page and 10 of them are drinking the same drink and making an ad about it. But that doesn't make me say, oh, I want to go buy that. But maybe I feel like it convinces me more if I see it in the store and I'm able to hold the product and look at it and just feel what it would be like to own it almost before actually making that purchase.
We are not that far away. As generation, I mean, we are not that far away, because I think that we also want to have all the journey experience that you said, and we don't put that importance on a famous person because he or she is using the product. So we're not that far away, I would say, as different generations.
Gemma, sorry, I keep stepping on your toes, but it's just because we are having a very interactive session here.
Step on me, Paul. Step on
Step on me. Both of you are making me think I have to ask this question. Is this a matter of trust, that women just don't trust influencers? I mean, they know they're paid a lot of money. I think women are much more pragmatic, and they're looking for value. And they're looking for all of the things that were so useful in this session. Also the brand's ethics, its personality being accompanied by them. Go ahead. I'd like to hear your response to that.
I say 3 because I don't want to get offline without saying that. And the 3 main things that make us women, and I'm sure men too, but women for sure, shop online are, the first thing is price.
The price, okay.
Online is cheaper than offline normally. Convenience, of course. They bring that home, so that's convenience. But the third thing, which is really important, is trust. So price, convenience, and trust. And that's it. That's it. So I wouldn't say that it's very different to men, but it really came out from the research that the three things that move us to get online and shop are price, convenience, and trust.
Wow.
And so we have to work on that. We have to work as marketers, in that case, as advertisers, and yes, branding experts. We should work on those three values.
Well, let me tell you, I'm really enjoying this session. We're actually coming in for a landing now, but I'm so glad that Natalie, you joined us, and to have Jackie's professional opinion to all of these topics. Maybe we can end looking into the future. And one thing that we're looking at here in the agency and the Innovation Lab is X-commerce, which is buy anytime, anywhere, any channel. And I think women will definitely lead that too. But as you look further into the future, maybe 2030 or into the 2030s, what does e-commerce mean for women, for their future?
I love that question, Paul, because there are two things that really, even I work on feminine branding, as you said before, and that's my mission, and I'm convinced that there has to be a feminine way of looking at brands and in creating experiences. I have never thought about that. And two things that came out from the research. One is that e-commerce empowers women. And what does that mean? That means that the fact that I can create my business, my experience, my proposal online, gives me as a woman, gives me the opportunity to be an entrepreneur, to have my own income, to try my startup, because it depends only on having a laptop and on my time. I can do it at night. I can do it wherever I want to. So it doesn't relate to a budget. It's more related to wanting it. So I think that, and it was enlightened for me and nice to be aware of that, because as a woman entrepreneur and feminist and working on that, I never thought about that window that the e-commerce was opening. And the second thing that I like it very much, and actually it's related to what we are doing now, Paul and Natalie and Jackie, is that the e-learning puts men and women at the same level. And on the screen, we all have the same space. We all have the same square, or whatever you say the correct way, the same window, by the way. No? And what does that mean metaphorically and physically? That on the e-learning experience, we are all equal. It doesn't matter if the one who is speaking now is the CEO, or is the receptionist, or is the delivery guy. So, and that also empowers the e-learning. So those two insights were really like blowing for me, like, oh, yes. So,
yes.
yes,
oh,
yes. It opens, and of course, the e-learning reduces the environment pollution, whatever, many other things, no? But the fact that as a matter of inclusion, it includes us all, because we are all equal in that screen right now. No?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a very, very bright future. I thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy international travel schedule, research schedule.
Thank you very much.
I think you've cloned yourself somehow, and to have this wonderful time with you has been absolutely fantastic. And I venture to say that if there are undoubtedly some very fortunate listeners who were paying attention and taking notes on this conversation, that in years ahead, exactly what you're saying, they will find that they have founded their own companies, that they are e-commerce successes, and it may have just started right here. So thank you very much, Gemma.
Thank you very much. Gracias.
Thank you, Gemma.
Remember to check out our podcast directory at podcast.bvirtual.com. You'll find 5 seasons with over 50 episodes, including very interesting chats with European innovators, marketers, and entrepreneurs. And don't forget to look for the videos of our live sessions, available on the Barcelona Virtual YouTube channel, as well as in the program notes on our blog. Thanks for listening, and until next time, adios from Spain.
This flash briefing is brought to you by Barcelona Virtual, a European internet pioneer. To visit us, type the letter B together with virtual.com. That's bvirtual.com.